Good morning, good morning, good morning, Kirsten Liebelt. It is Tuesday. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Oh, I think that I officially need another device. So I'm just going to put that out there and see what happens because it's time. Oy vey. Okay, good to see you guys. It's Tuesday. Come on in. Welcome in. I'm super fired up today. Super, super duper fired up. And I'm going to tell you why here in 2 seconds. So if you're on the replay, go ahead and tell me that you're on the replay. Tell me where you are coming in from. I always love to know that. It's amazing to me. And there's one thing that I should have done before. That's all right. That's all right. It's in my stories. I'll have to remember to go back and look at it. But so if you don't know who I am, my name is Kirsten Liebelt, and I was raised by a type 2 insulin dependent dad, taking like 2 shots of insulin a day. And then he died at 63. And there was a long progression in front of that, right? Like the last 10 years of his life, not so exciting because his function of life was really low. And of course, now I think that he was the youngest man ever to pass away at 63, because now I'm 59, almost 60. So, wow, that was young. That's kind of how I view that now, right? So anyway, and it just, man, I get fired up. So I spent a long time wondering why medications did not do anything for him in terms of like sustaining his life and increasing the function of his life. And I just had a lot of type 2 around my family with, I'm Italian. And so it was very common to have a lot of type 2 and obesity in my family. And I was told that it was just very, I'm going to move up my iPad. I was just told that it was very, hi TikTok, genetic, and that's the only thing that you could do for it. And now what I know is that that's just not true, and that the pushing of scripts is a really big issue. And I know that I talk about that kind of a lot just because this is what kind of ticks me off the most. But this morning, something really kind of came across my screen that really fired me up. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm just an Italian girl who figured things out. And what happened was, instead of myself going down the road of type 2 diabetes, I'm literally the only one in my family that avoided it. Me, the one that was major. Good morning, Anna. Oh, it's always good to see you, Melissa. Good to see you guys. Thank you for showing up and like hanging out. And on TikTok, if you guys would like the video and share it out, do all of the things so that other people can get this information. I would really appreciate it. You guys are really good to me over there. But I should not have been the one. I'm the poster child, you guys. I'm going to get into this today. I'm stirred. I'm stirred today. I'm going to tell you why here in just a second. I took some notes on something. I'm the only one. Major addiction, poster child of addiction to sugar, poster child of like, I never took a supplement. I took ibuprofen. That was me. Okay. Now here I am. I'm 59 and I'm in a completely different place. How, why? So I do believe that God gave me answers to answer questions that were in my heart. And he gave them to me through supplementation. That's my world. And yes, Anna, I have your things right here. I just haven't transferred them yet. I have a sweet customer who sent me these. In fact, I've got one holding up my iPad right now, but I will fill it, I promise. I didn't know anything about this whole life, right? But now the deeper and deeper I go into studying and into listening to third-party resources like Dr. Ken Berry and Dr. Eric Berg and Maria Emmerich, et cetera, the more ticked off. I mean, can I say the word pissed off? Can I say that and still be like, whatever? Like, I'm like, because we are so indoctrinated to believe that the answers lie within PHAR, fill in the blank. Well, thank you, Trent. You're very nice. Oh, thanks, you guys. Thank you. So, this is the deal. I got up this morning and I was on my Facebook, and I don't know who this guy is. He actually has a check mark by his name. I didn't even write down his name. He's not. I think he's a coach, like a business coach, maybe, and teaches people how to close sales. I mean, I think that's what it is. And if I had another device, I could look up the picture because I just screenshotted a few things. But he was telling a story about how for the last 2 years, because he looks about my age, for the last 2 years, he was completely exhausted. And I wrote down just a few things that he said. And then you're going to see how this all ties in together. Good morning, Mary. Good to see you. And basically, he said 2 years of near exhaustion. He would get up in the morning and he would drink coffee, and it was worse. It was worse. Good morning, Magda. Good to see you. He felt like a sloth. He ended up at did he say naturopath or did he say functional? I should have written that down. I think it was naturopath. And they were giving him over $10,000 in supplementation. And he said, and they could not even explain what they did. They literally just said, just take them. It was so affecting his life that he had no energy for his grandchildren. And come on, you guys, this is my button, right? Why do I want to wake up and not ache in the morning? Why do I want to wake up and have function of life? My grandbabies, I talk about it all the time. If I don't have energy for them, then what's the point, right? This is a button for me. He moved his trainings to daylight hours. I think just meaning more in the middle of the day as opposed to the beginning or the end. So he switched his work schedule. He flipped everything, and he didn't have energy for his life. And he stopped taking his meds at the recommendation of somebody down the road. Somebody gave him after 2 years. And he said it was literally like flipping a switch. And all of a sudden, his normal life started to come back again. He didn't even talk in the message of his story. He didn't even share what it was. He was literally just sharing from a vantage point of, basically kind of like, thank you for your patience as my clients. And again, he must coach business people, salespeople, maybe is what he does. I don't know. And he said, basically, thank you. And my normal life is coming back. So kind of be patient with me. But I looked into the comments because isn't that what we do? And sure enough, somebody said, well, I'd sure like to know what meds those were. Could you tell me what meds those were? And he said a GLP-1 and a GLP-2. And I went, okay, well, I already know what a GLP-1 is. What's a GLP-2? I didn't know, right? Because again, I'm not a doctor. So I looked some stuff up, and I'm telling you, this just ticks me off. And so what I want to do today for the duration of our little show is I want to talk about what is the difference between taking meds that increase your insulin output to help with your sugars, thereby creating more inflammation in your body, and what are the detriments then of overstimulating your pancreas, to freaking death, and instead taking a completely different thought process where what you're doing is you're working on instead of working on banging on the pancreas, come on, wake up, give me more insulin. Instead of doing that, saying to the cell, wake up, open your door and become more sensitive to the insulin and the glucose. Let's deal with this on a cellular level. What is the difference between those two? Why was he so freaking exhausted? Like a sloth. He had no energy to literally spend time with his grandchildren. And again, he wasn't selling anything. He was just telling a story. It was in the comments that somebody asked the question. And I'm like, I'm so over this script pushing. Magic scripts. Listen, my dad had a lazy Susan full of scripts. His function of life went tank and then he was dead at 63. And that last 10 years, like this guy for 2 years now, no function of life, like barely getting by, can't even enjoy the most important things in his life. Sounds like he had adrenal burnout. That could be too, Mary, right? But what he said was when he stopped taking them, it changed just like that for him. Thank you, Melissa, for sending a heart puff. You're so sweet. I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is, let's talk about what is a GLP-1, what does it do? What is a GLP-2? What does it do? Just so that we can get an overview and have a proper discussion, okay? Because we're all just going to learn together. We're all going to ask these questions of ourselves together. If you do not have the function of life that you want, if you wake up and you feel like crap and you're exhausted all the time for whatever reason, let's try to find root causes and fix them from the root, because this is not rocket science, okay? If we do not have the C word, CAN, if we do not have that word, and we do not need a team of medical professionals to help us on that level, then this is all figure outable. This is not rocket science. It does not have to take us a team of anybody to figure out how to just eat better, supplement very targetedly, and move on with life and get back your life. Become your own advocate. Oh my God. Somebody texted me last night and she said, I don't like the constipation of the GLP-1, but in the last month on the trio, 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity and the new gut primer that launched. And I'm actually really loving the results of that. But between those two, she's lost 10 pounds in the last month. I'm just telling you, like, if something makes you constipated, let's just, come on, you guys, we have to stop. It's not okay to hold toxins in our body and think we're going to feel normal. It's just not. I know we shouldn't get on here and just talk about poop all the time, but let's just be real. Everybody seems to be constipated that I talk to. And it's impacted waste. And it's really bad for our systems. And you would never, ever, 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 ever let your body, you would never let your vehicle, your precious vehicle that you spend $500, $600, $700, $800 a month to lease or to own, and then spend another $500 a month for insurance. You would never let it have sludgy oil. And that may not be you. I don't have that. I don't have that kind of a car payment. I don't live that. I don't do that. I don't lease cars and whatever. It doesn't matter. My point being, I just pay cash for car, like whatever. You would never let it have old, disgusting, blackened, sludgy, thick, slothful oil in it, would you? You wouldn't do it to your vehicle. Why do we do it to our bodies? And we expect us to feel normal. Women, we know what it's like to have like inconsistencies with PMS and perimenopause and menopause. And we know what it's like when our system feels off. Why do we allow ourselves to live in a constipated state? Okay, I'm going to move off of that. I don't know why we do that. Let's stop doing that. Get yourself some magnesium citrate. Let's do some natural solutions. Natural solutions. I'll talk about my gut primer. That'll make sense. But yes, you are your own advocate. I know, Mary. I know. It just makes such a difference, doesn't it? Well, and that depends, Matt. I know. High fiber, low carb, yes, but what kind of fiber? I feel like most of the fiber that we're being sold is the bad kind of fiber. Just bulking up our stools. Do you want more bulk if you're constipated? It's just a question. Okay. A GLP-1, this is what happens. So when you get a GLP-1 injection, it mimics or enhances activity of naturally occurring hormone GLP-1, which is secreted by your gut. Okay, just remember your gut in this conversation in response to food intake. So you eat food, GLP-1 is secreted through your gut. So you want your gut working. If your gut's not working, let's reverse engineer. It's not going to secrete the hormone in response to the food that you intake. It stimulates insulin secretion, helping to lower your blood glucose levels. So your pancreas secretes insulin, and we want that to happen, right? But when the insulin doesn't do its job and it can't get it into the cell, you eat, your food creates a sugar rise, a blood glucose rise in your blood. Your pancreas secretes insulin. Your insulin, like a Pac-Man, goes like this. Waka, 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 waka. It takes the glucose and it shuttles it into the cell. Shuttles it into the cell. When you are insulin resistant, your cell is resistant to the insulin and blood glucose because it's like a stuffed turkey. Your body is very fearfully and wonderfully made. It knows when it's done. It taps out. I'm done. Door is closed. Now all of this excess insulin is inflammation. Plus, it's going to take all the excess glucose because maybe you just, drank an orange Julius, which is really bad for you. It's going to take all of that glucose. It's going to turn it into fat, and it's going to keep creating more and more insulin because it doesn't have enough insulin to get this into the cell because the cell door is closed. So a GLP-1 is going to help you to it's going to tap on the door of your pancreas. Could you please make more insulin? Hello, could you please make more insulin? We need more insulin in the body. So your pancreas is being stimulated to make more. But why are we doing that if that was the problem to begin with? Okay, now I understand there are some nuances in here, right? It also helps to prevent the liver from producing too much glucose. So that's a good part of the puzzle in the sense that this is why then there can be weight loss, right? But it also slows gastric emptying. So it bring it to a slow so that everything can kind of take its time so that there can be a more effective way to go through your system and not to the moon. Your sugars just have no governor on them. Okay. So it's slowing your gastric emptying. That may or may not have to do with, the bathroom issues. And then it promotes satiety. It helps you to feel full. Okay. So what it's doing is it is stimulating the pancreas to create more insulin. It's slowing down your stomach. It's helping your liver to simmer down on creating all that glucose. So it's got this trifecta kind of thing going on, right? Well, the problem is that overstimulation of your pancreas over time, it doesn't, that can lead to hypoglycemia. And that's why then, because people will ask me, which again, I just have to study myself, just like you guys do. We're both in the same boat. Because why was my dad on insulin injections if his body's producing too much insulin? Well, that's because after a while, you've overstimulated your pancreas and it's like, I'm just going to go to bed now. I'm just kind of tapped out. You guys have you pushed me too hard. And so that can happen either by yourself doing that or by speeding that up with GLP-1s. Well, so then what happens is after that, it's very hard to regulate and there can be spikes and dips and spikes and dips. And that was my dad's life, where he would take medication, he would inject himself with insulin, and he would eat breakfast kind of all at the same time. And it would take him hours to regulate his body because it's trying to compete with each other and figure things out and all of that mess, right? So that's what happens. Good morning, Kathy. Could I please go over the best times to take the trio? So Kathy, what I do with the trio is I like to take it in the morning. I take it after lunch. And then I take that last little glucose product sometime in the evening because I want that glucose product spread out throughout the day. And the trio is helping, instead of helping with promoting the secretion of insulin, instead of doing that, we're taking a completely different route. We're working on the cell receptivity. We're working on a cellular level inside of your body to go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive. Because when you can go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive, and you can actually get that waka, 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 the insulin is taking the glucose, it's getting it into the cell. When it can actually start doing that again, not only do you have energy, but then your body can actually start to lose weight. That's how I've ended up going from a 2X down to a large in my 50s. So this is something I started over 10 years ago. 8 hours in between, Mary? No, you don't have to. Just spread out through the day. Spread out through the day. And so don't worry about perfection. Think in terms of the system, you want your body to have a helper with your glucose and your insulin levels spread out. I think that was it. Good morning, Joanne. Good to see you. Always so good to see you. So that was, I'll put that up there for just a minute because that really helps a lot of people, Kathy. You're not the only one that asks me that. I get asked that maybe 1 or 2 times a day, actually, just because people want to know how to best take it. And I want people to know how to best take it. So anyway, all right. So that's what a GLP-1 does. Okay. All of that. Now a GLP-2, it enhances. Now this I did not know because this is not commonly talked about. For whatever reason, he was on both. And his quality of life, if you remember correctly, when he was writing on his Facebook this morning, he was saying he was for 2 years, like completely and utterly exhausted, feeling like a sloth, and it seriously affected the quality of his life, even with his grandbabies. He had to redo the schedule of his business. He could not seem to find energy. Even if he was drinking coffee, it would literally make it worse. I mean, like everything was backwards. His life was upside down, and it wasn't. And he was given $10,000 worth of supplementation. Now, okay. I'm not, it just doesn't matter. I always consider myself to be, in between somebody who is the GNC person and a naturopath. And I am not a naturopath, and I very much respect them. Very, very much. I worked with one. This is how I started. It kind of lit the fire in me to figure out, hey, wait a minute. If you're telling me that it's my adrenals that will help me get through menopause better, like I want to understand adrenals. I want to understand things. Okay. So I'm not dissing on that, but not everybody has the means that he had to go and spend $10,000 on supplementation. And then he also had a concierge physician. Okay. Now, most people don't have a concierge physician. Okay. I'm just saying, like, that's not our life, right? So he had the money to spend, to invest, and to see what was going to work and what wasn't going to work. We can do this with a lot less. I'm just telling you. So a GLP-2, what it does, it's another hormone, right? So we're talking about hormones again, and insulin is a hormone and cortisol is a hormone, but a GLP-2 will enhance intestinal lining growth. So it's helping your intestines, it's helping your gut function, and it's reducing intestinal inflammation. Okay. And we talk about this stuff all the time, you guys, all the time. It treats what's called short bowel syndrome. Did not know that was a thing. And I found that to be rather interesting. Like I said, I'd never heard of that before. I thought that was very interesting. So remember now, when we talk about, when we've talked about things like working with the inflammation in your gut, we've talked about, if you guys remember, fish oil. How fish oil, and please don't buy fish oil at your drugstore or your mart. Like, I understand things are convenient and sometimes inexpensive, and I don't even take expensive supplements. These are super not. I feel like there's a difference between like a mart where you might not be getting quality and maybe a functional doctor's office where you're paying clinical prices. Okay. So that's a real thing, right? That there are clinical prices. Well, my margin is really, really different. It's much lower than a clinic. And so therefore, I can bring high quality. Like when you talk about fish oil, let's talk about making sure that it's wild caught. We want things to be third-party tested. Very nice if they can be made in the United States and we have clarity over standards of practice. I'm just saying, we don't want supplements to be coming from China. We don't want things coming from countries where the standards of practice are not the same. There are many things that I had somebody the other day on my live asking if oh, thank you, Matt. He's starting his dialysis session right now. That's so meaningful to me. So he's glad that I'm here to keep him company and to teach him stuff. So that's wonderful, Matt. Thanks for sharing that. what was I saying? Hold on. Um, in talking about, like, I'm going to go back to fish oil for just a second. Did you know that fish oil is not, we have to offset the omega-6s that we have in our bodies. We have so many seed oils. We have so much toxins from the food that we eat. So we need the fish oil, but it can also go into your gut and help your gut lining. Okay. Now, what did a GLP-2 just say that it did? It helps to, it enhances the intestinal lining growth. Okay. And it's helping gut function, and it's reducing intestinal inflammation. Well, what if you could start with something like that and it was a really good quality fish oil? It's just a piece of the puzzle is all I'm saying. And if he had to get off of these scripts in order to have a function of life. Now, the main thing that I talk about all the time, and I'll just pull them out. I actually haven't even, hold on. I'm going to grab my water. Hold on. I got to grab my water and my purple packet. So when we talk about this is the main message that I want to get across to people today. This literally is the main conversation, okay? And then you can like leave after this if you don't want to know like how to fix things. That's okay. But this is the main conversation. We are having two separate conversations. The medical community is having a conversation with you about injections. And what those injections are doing is they're knocking on the door of your pancreas, and they're getting your pancreas to create more insulin. Well, do you understand that more insulin equals more inflammation? Too high of insulin equals too high of inflammation. That is not a happy world for what you're trying to accomplish. Here we are trying to get the inflammation down in our body, but we're increasing it. My conversation is, how about working on your body at a cellular level to increase sensitivity? What if you could go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive? What if you could like tap on your cells instead of your pancreas and wearing out your pancreas, which could literally then lead to hypoglycemia and all sorts of other issues? Why not tap on the door of your cell and say, wake up, open your door, and having more normal function of insulin shuttling glucose into the cell? That is a completely different conversation to have. And I feel like if that is a conversation that I can actually get across to people, that is what's going to make sense. Because just yesterday, and I know I just said this, but just yesterday, I'm on O injection. I do not like the constipation. Okay. Not happy with the constipation, not happy with what's going on in my digestive system because of the O. Well, it's probably because, like we just read, it slows gastric emptying. If a side effect is constipation, we literally should not want anything to do with that. I understand sometimes we take, like sometimes there are like, pain scripts that you take after surgery. And what do they tell you? That it can cause constipation. And you have to, I get it. Like there are things that do happen, right? And we have to walk that journey. But why would we ever choose that for a daily conversation? I mean, as opposed to, why not open up the cell? Wake up, open up the cell, become more sensitive at a cellular level. So when I started to do this 10 years ago, I did not understand at all that this is how any of this worked. Like you guys, I was the most clueless person on the face of the planet when it came to anything. I'm literally just going to take some supplements while I'm talking to you, because like I take things for brain fog, and I did not take it this morning, and I don't appreciate that. I'm 59. Functioning at a high level for me is literally such a top priority. Like, do you ever have a day where you're just like, you just want to be like, I'll just allow my foggy state, and then I'll kind of like lay in bed and read and nap and whatever. I haven't had one of those days in a really long time, because I just despise brain fog so badly. I do not like it. It makes me feel like I'm stubbing my toe on rocks and I'm going, uh, and I hate that feeling. Did you just take your purple packet, Joanne? We're purple packet sisters. I know. I love it. And the reason why the purple packet works, just for your guys' knowledge, you can always ask me about it. It's literally one of the first products that I started taking and telling people about. It has adaptogenic herbs and all of your 8B vitamins time released. So like it's in 15 minutes, I can have like mental clarity and energy all at the same time. Not jittery energy, because I'm not interested in that. But instead, and I don't think I have my ashwagandha in here right now. Shoot, I'll have to grab that later. Oh no, I do. I've got one. It doesn't give you jittery energy. It gives you sustained energy. And what a lot of women don't know is that when they're deficient in certain B vitamins, they can have sadness, the D word, and they can have anxiousness. And a lot of people don't know that. Simple deficiencies. That's why I get so ticked off, or like I said earlier, pissed off at the industry that is shoving scripts down our throat, because there are simple answers sometimes, because everybody's got something different going on. And I recognize that. But I think the masses, for the majority of people, these are simple answers. So, I have to sneeze. Hold on. All right. It went away. I don't mean to be a mess. I really don't. I was just I spent my time this morning trying to figure out how I was going to, I need another device so I can take pictures. It doesn't matter. You guys don't need to worry about that. But I had an extra phone and then I cracked the phone, blah, blah, blah. But I had to write out notes instead. It's all good. So they are not methylated, Debbie. The B vitamins are not methylated. I wish that they were, but they aren't. And you're probably, sometimes if you have to get something methylated, the price might just be higher than what I'm working with. But for the people who don't need methylated, because I know the MTHFR gene, et cetera, people who don't need methylated, yeah. I just don't think, I don't think that you can get any better prices than I have for supplementation that happens to be third-party tested and come from organic farms, et cetera. I just don't think you can get it better. I really don't. Judy, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so the conversation is, hold on. How do I keep them straight? Some of them look alike. I know they do. They do. And that's probably why Anna, she sent me 3 of these in the mail. You guys, one of my customers, and the other one is like an aqua, and I have it holding up my iPad. But she sent me these. I got these yesterday in the mail. You guys are the sweetest people. And then there was another customer said that I bought some for you. I was going to mail you some too. You guys, like literally, that's so nice. That's so nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these, and I have probiotic sticks. So here, I'll just tell you about my stuff. That way, this is a good way to do this. I have probiotic sticks. If you are not on a probiotic, you really need to be on a probiotic. And I'm going to tell you about, tonight I'm actually doing it at my local business meeting. I'm doing a product of the week on the gut primer that got launched. And there are a couple of you that are on the gut primer, and I started it too. I'm not a greens person, but I'll tell you, I am noticing a big difference with a gut primer. But probiotic first. So when you have a good probiotic, like mine has 5 strains, it has a prebiotic in it, but this is the deal. I don't know if you know that if they take and they put a probiotic inside of, let's say, a gut primer and there are several out there, this is becoming a common conversation. And this goes right back to that GLP-1 where you're trying to, or the GLP-2 that he was taking that actually helps with gut function. But we can do it naturally, you guys. You don't have to take scripts. I'm just saying. Your life can be like so much more streamlined. Nobody takes a probiotic and has a side effect that is negative, in my opinion. Nobody takes the trio. I've never, no, that's not true. I've had one person say they can't take, literally one person say that they can't, there's something with their digestive system, that it just did not settle down for them. And they have something else going on. But otherwise, there really aren't a lot of side effects with good supplementation. But a reason why that they don't put probiotics inside of gut, no, they do put them inside of gut primers, but they shouldn't be. And there's not one in mine because probiotics are actually really sensitive. They're very sensitive. You can't shake them too much, otherwise you'll lose the activity of the probiotic. They can't be heated because they're live, active cultures for your gut. You're trying to get that bacteria back into your gut. Okay. So unfortunately, the competition that I have in the marketplace, they put the probiotic in the gut primer. I think you're losing out on effectiveness. I really do. So I take a probiotic and then I take a gut primer, but not just any gut primer. It has, you can go to a coffee shop and you can get a greens juice. That's not what this is. This is more of, they have different blends inside. So the digestive enzymes are already in there. There's prebiotic. And instead of a probiotic, they put a postbiotic, which is a more stable form of a couple more strains for you. There are people who are dealing with constipation. You're dealing with IBS. You're dealing with all sorts of digestive disorders or frustrations, I should just say, that if you would begin to prime your gut every single day, just like you prime a wall with paint primer, or just like you prime your face with a makeup primer for your skin, same thing. You can prime your gut so that the effectiveness of the product you put on your wall or on your face works better at a higher level, right? That's what that does. Gut primer will do the same thing. Yeah, they want a more natural way to treat it. Yes. Would the trio work for someone you know with ulcerative colitis? It would not be for that, but I don't know that there would be issues with it. I don't think so. However, 6-month guarantee on all the products. So because I'm not a doctor and everybody has to match things with their own world, like you guys have to assess yourselves. That's why I'm so grateful that you guys give me your data. You send me like my A1C went from this to this. My morning blood sugars dropped 30 points. My weight dropped 15 pounds. I lost 25 pounds since the beginning of the year. You guys tell me your results. You guys tell me. Hold on. I'm going to answer a couple questions. Oh, thank you, Mary. Oh, Mary, you're so helpful. Okay. So I'm going to go back. You have the MTHFR. Yep. Yeah. And CORD. Yeah. And COMT. I know. You can get pieces of the purple packet separately. You don't have to get the purple packet that has the B vitamins in it. If you want the adaptogenic herbs only, you can reach out to me in Messenger and say, I actually want to know about the adaptogenic herb that's in the purple packet because I need help with mental clarity and energy. Because I don't believe you methylate adaptogenic herbs. I think that's a B vitamin type of a conversation for the most part. But anyway, okay. Is the trio the same as the purple packet? No. The trio are 3 supplements. Hold on. 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. These are the ones that I started over 10 years ago. When your insulin and your sugars are high, you cannot lose weight. When you fill in nutrient deficiencies, your body starts to function. The first time that I really truly understood that was I take a daily vitamin that actually has 3 pills to it, 3 sections to it, a multivitamin, a multimineral, and a phytonutrient, plants, right? I have a friend whose dad started taking this twice a day, because that's what you do, twice a day, just really kind of flooding your body with nutrients. He starts taking it twice a day, and he had a hard time for over 10 years getting his sugars to come into control. For the first time in 10 years, his sugars come into control. He's after about 4 months, his A1C just came way down, and he's just taking this multi-mineral, multivitamin, and phytonutrient. That's what that is. And he goes on to lose like over 50 pounds because when you have nutrient deficiencies, and just think, the example I like to use is we have a lot of iodine deficiencies because we've moved from iodized salt, which is good because table white salt is trash. It's total trash. But we've moved from iodized salt to pink Himalayan salt. So now we have an iodine deficiency oftentimes, and that is where people end up with thyroid issues. Okay, so does that track with you a little bit? So we've our soil is depleted, our food supply has changed, we eat out of season. We have everything shipped to us and it wasn't ripe, it wasn't ready. By the time it gets to us, the nutritional, profile is way down, those types of things. So what if you just fill in with a few nutritional deficiencies? And it's amazing how trace minerals will help your body bring down insulin, bring down sugars, etc. But then it helps with liver, visceral belly fat, metabolism, etc. So I start this over 10 years ago. I end up going from a 2X down to a large in my 50s after my cycle stopped. The purple packet is a completely different product. At the same time that I was starting that, I'll just be honest, I didn't know anything about supplements, but my brain fog was off the charts, just boom. And I'm in my 40s and I'm thinking I'm in a mess. I'm in a pickle because I need to multitask at a higher level because I'm working in a medical clinic. And so I have somebody who then talks to me about adaptogenic herbs. I don't know nothing about adaptogenic herbs. I just know that when I take it, all of a sudden I could multitask. And I was like, I'm really liking this. Well, now all these years later, I'm still taking the purple packet. It wasn't packaged like this at first. It was packaged individually, but I'm still taking them because, and it has 3 supplements inside. I was going to show you that. Sorry. It has 3 supplements inside, adaptogenic herbs, and then your B vitamins time released. So that's just a different packet. But that then eventually helped me to, well, I never had a hot flash. It helped to support my adrenals, and your adrenals support your hormones. And I never had a hot flash, and it regulated my hormones, and I didn't know it was going to do any of that. And so the purple packet is really for somebody who's like, listen, I know that my adrenals, they need help. I need my brain fog. I need to be able to think clearly. I need to be able to multitask. I need to have some energy again. My memory is kind of glitching on me, and I'm not loving that. My mood is off. That hormonal conversation that we have because our adrenals are right. That's kind of what the purple packet does. So I hope that makes sense in describing the difference between the two. And I'll just tell you, like, they've just changed, they've shifted my whole trajectory. Kathy, you have the trio. Perfect. Perfect. So Pam answered that. What did Cheryl say? Hold on. You guys are chatting. This is good. I'm not sure. I think, see, I know I can't see one of the comments. That's okay. Oh, you meant Debbie. Oh, you have MTHFR. Okay. Yep. I know. And these are real things, right? And so everybody you're interested in info. So Remington 19, D Remington 19, do me a favor on Instagram. When this live goes away, when I shut down the live on Instagram and TikTok, it's literally your comments will just disappear, poof, into the universe. Facebook, they stay, and I can come back and I can talk to people, because if you leave messages on my profile, they stay there. However, what I will tell you is this: if you're wanting information on the trio, number one, get into my inbox on Instagram and tell me, I was on your live and you talked about the trio. Will you send me a cart with those 3 in it? I want to see them all in one place. Like, that makes it easy, right? That's what I'm doing. However, at the top of the Instagram profile page, there's a pink highlight bubble. And what I've done is I've put testimonies in there. I'll put testimonies up into my stories, and then I'll drop them down into that highlight bubble. And you can sit there and just look through testimony after testimony after testimony, because do not take my word for it. I'm the person that avoided type 2. I'm the person that I reverse engineered why things were working for me because I didn't have knowledge. I didn't have live video. I didn't watch anybody's videos. That didn't exist. And so, but you can listen to the other people. Listen to everybody else. Lean on their testimonies of their morning sugars coming down, their weight coming off, their A1C getting better. Lean on them, okay? Because that is a much better answer for that. And if you're in the group, there's a Facebook group called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. You can get over there. You can jump into that. And when you do, that there's a guide number 4, and the guide number 4 will have testimonies. It's not as the highlight bubble has more, but guide number 4 has quite a bit. So if you're in the group already, I highly recommend. You started the trio on Saturday along with the gut health. Lori. Okay, Lori, I'm going to tell you about the gut health. All right, I'm not a greens person, you guys. I don't know. Do you like the flavor, Lori? I'm not a greens person. So I do mix it with something to change the flavor a little bit because this is what it's doing. So yes, it has a greens blend in it, but it also has your digestive enzymes. It has prebiotics. It has postbiotics. It has alkaline spices. So there's a spice taste to it, a tiny bit like if you ever have spiced cider at Christmas time. Okay. So alkaline spices. And just think about this. When you can make your mouth more alkaline, like your gut, your brain, your gut, your oral health, your gut, your liver, like this is all connected. And the reason why I was just talking to a dental hygienist who's in business with me. And she was saying that the reason why she goes down to like other countries, she goes to Jamaica, and they do a lot of free care down in other third world countries to help people. And she said, it's, we're so acidic. We're so acidic. So alkaline spices. And then what was the last one? Because it's a 6 blend. Hold on. I'm going to look it up. Digestive, postbiotic, alkaline spice blend. Oh, and a fruit and vegetable concentrate blend, which is helping to provide, and they're using extracts. So when I said earlier, I was talking about the fiber conversation. I feel like we're being sold really bad, crappy, excuse me for saying that in context to fiber. We're being sold really bad, sawdusty, horrible fiber. Like it's bulking up our stools and creating issues. This is different. So if you want to be able to move along your impacted waist very gently, there's no downside to this. There's no bathroom running, nothing like that. We're going to prime the inside of your gut, just like you prime a wall with paint or your face for makeup. With this 6-in-1 blend, it's very comprehensive. However, make sure that you are taking a probiotic with it, okay? The reason why they didn't put the probiotic in it, and you guys can put, like, if you need gut primer on Facebook, put gut primer. If you're on TikTok, go over to Instagram, or there's a phone number on the top of my profile. You can get to my profile right here. There's a phone number. You can text me and say, I want to know about that gut primer, okay? But they didn't put the probiotic in it because probiotics are very sensitive. You need them to stay alive. They need to actually be active and living when they hit your gut to do any good. Otherwise, you're literally flushing your money down the toilet. So they can't be shaken. They can't be heated. But you can heat this gut primer because it doesn't have probiotics in it. It has pre and post, which are not sensitive like that. So just the more you know, the better you can do with stuff like that and really change your gut. You're welcome, Matt. Matt says, thank you for sitting with me while I finished my dialysis solution, filled with dialysis solution. You get to fill 3 times a day and drain 3. That's a lot, Matt. That's a lot. You taste some ginger. It's not bad at all. It's not. It's very light. And yes, ginger is in it. Kathy, you need the purple packet. I'll send you a link when I'm done. I will. You gain and lose 12 to 15 pounds of fluid a day. That's amazing, Matt. That's an amazing process. I will tell you that. That is crazy. But yeah, I do taste ginger also, and it is in there. But just think about that alkaline spices. So think about putting something in your gut at the. It's called begin because it's to be used at the beginning of your day, and you're literally priming yourself for the rest of the day. So for anybody who you've been dealing with constipation, you've been dealing with, any kind of like digestive issues, IBS, um, low energy, all of those things. And when I talked about earlier, the GLP-1 that they're putting people on, like for injections and so forth, GLP-1 and GLP-2, they're secreted from the gut. So your gut is literally one of the most important things that you could be paying attention to. We put band-aids on a lot of things, but the gut isn't one that we band-aid on because it's affecting your brain health, your mental health. It's affecting whether or not you are on anti-sadness scripts because that's a gut issue, because so much of your serotonin is made in your gut. It's affecting your immune system because if you have a messed up gut, your body can't fight. It's messing up so many things. So what happens is when you take a gut primer like this, it can help your skin health, your liver health, your oral health, your mental health. Like there's a lot that goes into one thought process when it comes to something like that. So for me, I do mix it up with my frother. I haven't done it yet this morning. I will do that. I was just running behind and my frother is over there. Where's my frother? But it's just a little zhuzh, and I will add something to it for flavor. And I highly recommend that. Just because I'm not a greens person. I'm not. Joanne, I'll send that to you. And Kathy, I will. Honestly, the reason why I'm going to go back to the trio for just a second. The reason why I talk about being deficient in certain nutrients is because our nutrient absorption isn't functioning. We're not absorbing. Number one, there have been studies shown, they've done studies of like marathon racers where they've literally taken the contents of the outhouses. I know, fun job, right? They've taken the contents of the outhouses and they have studied them to see how many supplements were not breaking down because of however the companies were making them. So people were literally flushing their money down the toilet. But number two, here we have supplements that actually do break down, like over 500 scientists working on making sure that what you're being given is effective. But when you're deficient in nutrient pieces, ingredients, and you can change that piece and know that that's going to affect the way that your body is functioning in terms of insulin, blood glucose levels, metabolism, and everything. If you can't absorb because your gut is messed up, start with your gut. Start with your gut, get it primed, get a good probiotic so that when you do take things, you get even higher levels of nutrient absorption. And that's one of the things that the primer does. Nutrient absorption, skin health, oral health, mental health, digestive health, nutrient absorption, all of these things. And it's just your energy levels can shift. Because think about it, if you're moving along impacted waste, that means you're moving along toxins like that. Let the lazy river move so that you can get things out of your body. When you have, if you eat a food and you have an immediate bathroom reaction, you're actually not emptying the impacted waste. It's actually stimulating something further down and it's releasing, which is fine. That's good, right? But you're looking to get that impacted waste. And remember now at the beginning of this live, if you go back, one of the things that the GLP-1 is doing, which is a negative, most of it is all negative, it's slowing down your gastric emptying. Aren't we trying to do the opposite, people? Aren't we trying to do the opposite? So you're telling me that you're putting inside of me something that is on whatever level, because I don't know all of the ingredients, is toxic. And now you're going to slow it through my body. You're going to slow my gastric emptying. You're going to slow. What kind of a mess are we making? All because we so desperately, number one, maybe we don't want to change our habits. Because remember, I teach this, start with targeted supplementation, but then I also talk about trading out your ingredients. And as an Italian girl, that was a really big deal for me. That is kind of messed right there. That's a really big deal. Like, let's change out our ingredients. That's where the challenge comes in the Facebook group. And the Facebook group is Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And we just finished up a challenge. And if you're in there and you missed the challenge, like let's say you just got in there yesterday, all 5 days are pinned to the top in the featured section. You can go back and look at them. And we'll do another one in September, number 16 in September, because that's what we do. I give you a track to run on. Do I have a recommendation for what type of probiotics we need to use? So the one that I take, Susan, and I don't think you've ever ordered that from me. I take one that is, where's my probiotic stick? Hold on, I'll grab it for you. It's a prebiotic. And then it has 5 strains in it. So it's literally a packet. And it has an Arrive Alive technology, and it has a stick to the gut technology. I haven't even taken mine today, so I'll just take it right now. So basically all I have to do, I probably shouldn't even shake it like that, right? But I'm just telling you, like, it's just a powder. I just put it on my tongue. It's not sweet. It's not citrusy. It kind of tastes a little like cereal. I know that sounds odd. Kind of has a cereal taste. And now that is one, it has the prebiotic, and then it has 5 live strains in my gut. And if you've never regularly taken a probiotic or a gut primer, boy, can you tell the difference in how your body is functioning. Your body kind of goes, oh my gosh, thank you. That's what that feels like. Because again, I go back to the vehicle. You're welcome, Susan. I go back to the vehicle. You would never, ever, ever, ever if you are spending good money on a vehicle, you would never let your oil turn to sludge. You would never let it turn black. You would never not take it in for maintenance. You would never do that, because you would be like, oh my gosh, I worked so hard to make this car payment. I worked so hard to like put insurance on this vehicle. I've driven crappy vehicles for years. They were rusted. They were dumb. Finally, now I have this beautiful vehicle that has a digital display, and it has like bells and whistles and whatever it has. And you're so grateful. And we're going to take it to the car wash. We're going to get like a monthly car wash. If you live in Minnesota, you're going to do a monthly car wash, subscription, because you're going to make sure you take care of it. You would be mortified if you went in there and the mechanic said to you, what in the world did you do to this vehicle? I cannot believe you drove it 50,000 miles off the lot and you never had the oil changed. Like, you're headed for engine failure. Like, this is ridiculous. What did you do? Your oil was black, and it was like sludge, and it was disgusting. We've never seen such a bad case. You would be so mortified. But that's what we're doing to our bodies, right? That's what we do. So when you start to take a gut primer, you take a probiotic, you do things like that. Oh, I gotta move that on TikTok. You do those things, your body literally is like, thank you so much. Things begin to move. Things begin to like simmer down, get that inflammation starting to like come down inside of your gut. And it begins to affect so many areas of your body. It's sometimes hard to describe even how it makes you feel, because it's not like this hurt and now it doesn't hurt anymore. It's not like that. You heard that there's something in almond milk that stops nutrition from absorption. So I think that in almond milk, You're probably talking about carrageenan, I think I'm saying that right. And so I feel like that's messing up the gut. I don't I suppose that's a line that you could go down, right? You could say, well, if it's messing up the gut, then it is messing up nutrient absorption. And I think carrageenan is actually in a lot of products. And I'm trying to think in my head as I'm talking. I'm trying to think, have I ever seen an almond milk without it? I'm sure that I have. I'm actually going to go, let me go get my almond milk. I wonder if mine does have that in there. I should check. So I'm probably going to have to stop buying it, right? Dang it. I'm going to need another brand. This is Kirkland. Okay, so this is not. This is, I can't hold this up for TikTok, but I can do it for Facebook. TikTok, I can't show products because they think that I'm showing, they think I'm selling something. So I have to do this this is just Kirkland down here. You can see that. They flagged me yesterday because I was showing you guys products out of my pantry because it's just bots running TikTok, but this does not have carrageenan, but I'm pretty sure that is the ingredient that they are talking about. Yeah. And it's not in here. So this is just, yeah. And the reason why I even have this is because, so every now and then I'm using an unsweetened almond milk. If you're trying to, let's say, lower the fat of the chocolate pudding, and the chocolate pudding that I make, the homemade chocolate pudding, like has a can of coconut milk in it, that's high fat, right? Now, high fat is normally very, very good. But if you're trying to you're trying to fit some macros, like Maria Emmerich has a free macro calculator. And so she'll tell you how high your protein should be, where your moderate fat should be, and then where your low carbohydrates should be, et cetera. Oftentimes the noise of the keto universe is put fat in your coffee and put fat in your, fat bombs in your freezer and just have fat available all the time. And just high fat keto was developed for epilepsy. Moderate fat keto is for weight loss. It's the best way that I can say it. And so anyway, so if you're trying to trade out your fat, like let's say I want cream in my coffee, but maybe I can figure out how to make a lower fat chocolate pudding or something like that. Cause you want the fat. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking low fat 90s where you're eating SnackWell cookies and getting fat off. I'm not talking about that. But anyway, so having this, I can also use this for offsetting. Like if I do want to make a homemade ice cream, remember I just got my Ninja Creamy Deluxe. And I'm going to make real ice cream, let's say, and I'm going to use egg yolks and cream. It's not going to be all cream. It's going to be cream and unsweetened almond milk or unsweetened coconut milk. That's where that comes from. Pure sugar alcohol. Matt, I think that's fine. The PYURE, I've used that before, that product. They have like a erythritol stevia mixture like at Walmart, and that one seems to be fine with me. I mean, I do think sugar alcohols are safe. I think that we have, I'm going to say it this way. If somebody is testing their sugars because you are type 2, then you assess yourself. Eat something and see if it's spiking your sugars. Short of using, obviously, we don't want aspartame in our food. We don't want saccharin. Those are things that we can very easily say we don't need that. And yesterday when I was talking about my pantry stuff, I was talking about allulose, which is a plant sweetener. And allulose actually helps to studies are showing that it's bringing down sugars, which is phenomenal. Like what a deal that is. So that's a really good sweetener. Stevia, monk fruit, erythritol. There was a study that said, erythritol was bad. Just go on YouTube, type in Maria Emmerich, Emmerich, and erythritol. And she has an 11-minute video explaining why that study was so dang faulty. And so what happens is you have to understand that negative propaganda on ingredients and or products, like the demonization of meat, the demonization of let's say your erythritol or whatever. And then they'll throw that on the Today Show so that everybody questions because they want to be the answer. They want to give you the answer. So we have to do our own research. Okay. It's no different than during 2020 when the shutdown came and we like vitamin D was being demonized. Like, how dumb is that? Vitamin D was like literally not a cure, but a very large helper in our immune systems, people. Like, come on. But if as a content creator, you said certain things, you were fact checked. Fact check. Like ridiculous. So anyway, hold on just a second. See if I'm missing stuff. Nope, I think I'm good on that. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Okay, so let's wrap this up for today. Everybody's got their day to go on with, so let's do that. If you need information on the trio, let me know. You can put trio in the comments on Facebook and they will stay there. TikTok, you either need to do one of two things. There's a number on my profile. If you go up to my profile and you can text me and say, I was on your live, will you send me a cart that has the trio in it, all 3 supplements? And I'll send you a cart that has these 3 in there. And then we can chat about what it is that you need. Some of you are going to probably say to me, I want, and there you already have on Facebook, I want the trio and the gut primer. Okay. And then I'll create a cart for you that has those things in it. And then I'll send that to you and you can look at it all in one place. Just make sure that you register at the top of the page. There's a person icon. Register with your name. Check the box for the perks because then you can get $4.99 shipping. And that is a really good, I mean, $5. Like I paid $5 for a tomato 2 days ago. And I'm not kidding you. Like that's how ridiculous this is getting, right? So, $5 shipping, $4.99 shipping, or over $139, it's free. And as a customer, that's a beautiful thing. So there are sometimes people want to go, like if you're doing the trio and the gut primer, you're going to get up and over. But if you're just doing the trio, you might want to get 2 months worth and 6-month guarantee. So therefore, the risk is low, if not zero. You know what I'm saying? Like, what risk is there if you have a 6-month guarantee? This is taking you to February at this point. But one of the main reasons why I would want somebody to take action today is because in September, we're going to do another challenge. And if you've never decided that you're going to do something opposite, a GLP-1 injection is dealing with tapping on the door of your pancreas. This is tapping on the door of your cells and saying, wake up, open up the door. Become more insulin sensitive again so that we can get the energy into the cell, so that we can actually deal with that sugar, so that we don't have extra inflammation from high insulin, so that we don't have extra exhaustion from no energy in the cell. And then we don't have to deal with the side effects of slowing slowing the food from your gastric your gastric funnel in your body. You know, you don't have to deal with the side effects of nausea, constipation, all of these things. Or what about eventually you've just tapped out your pancreas? Make more, make more, make more. And what happens when it finally says, I'm pretty much done? Like, how long can we tap on our pancreas to secrete more insulin? It's not a forever thing. Okay. So, but if somebody, I talk a lot about how we're going to be doing this book in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, Self-Sabotage No More, because that's what we do. We hear information because it's plentiful, and then maybe we sabotage ourselves so that we don't take action. But listen, what happens if you actually decide you're finally going to take action? I had somebody say, I followed you for a year before I bought the trio. What happens if you finally take action and then you learn how to trade out your food ingredients and you do a challenge in September, and then you do the 3 things again for October and then November and then December, and in January of 2025 you're in a different place. You navigated the holidays better. You actually made a difference in your weight, in your sugars, in your A1C. You actually made a difference in how you feel. Your energy levels are up, and you didn't deal with all of those side effects. Like, these are the conversations I'm having with you guys in my inbox. It's why I get so passionate. I'm tired of the constipation. I'm tired of feeling nauseous. I know this isn't good for me. I know this is a toxic conversation. I know this is a toxic band-aid for my body. How can I stop the toxic train and become my own advocate and take back my own body? The fact that I get to spend time with energy and function to be with my grandbabies literally is all I need to know. I wake up and I don't ache, because when you can take down the inflammation in your body, do you understand? You're turning back the inflammation in your body. If you're doing an injection and you're knocking on your door of your pancreas to increase more insulin equals more inflammation. Your body's supposed to be in balance. There's supposed to be a synergistic balance in your body, not an overproduction of something, so that you're stimulating the pancreas. That's not how this was supposed to go. I'm just telling you. Matt, you are so sweet. I will reach out to you. That's very sweet. He makes jewelry and he would like to make me jewelry. He makes jewelry as a hobby. You're very sweet, Matt. That's very kind of you. You would have to tell me what stones are optional, because I don't know my stones very well, but that's very sweet of you. It's like you're speaking straight to me, Michelle says. Well, you know what, Michelle? I wake up every morning. You have to understand. Every day, somebody sends me something. You guys send me a text. You send me a testimony. I have my friends that send me plastic containers for my pills, for my supplements. Like, you guys are the best. You guys are the best. But every day I'm inspired. I wake up every day with an inspiration to keep talking, because I consider it the strongest words that I could use. I consider it to be criminal what they're doing to us. It's criminal. And because we do not pause long enough, which was me. I didn't understand any of this, you guys. None of this. Didn't go to school for it. Got like a C in biology. This was not my wheelhouse. But it piqued my interest enough to ask questions. I'm like, wait a minute. If my dad was taking all those amazing 21st century meds, why is he dead at 63? Like, weren't those supposed to heal him and fix him? And that's kind of when I started going down the skeptical whatever. And right now what's happening is we have a overabundance of offering of script injections, because we are so dang excited to finally lose weight. We want that more than life itself. Like, that is our top priority. I get it. If you would have told me my journey was going to be slow, I probably wouldn't have taken my slow journey. I'm really glad that I did for myself. And when I mean my slow journey, the reason why is because I was trading out my ingredients. And so I was asking myself questions in my head, like, why did that bother me just now? Why did that, why did I feel deprived? Why did it bother me that I didn't have that food in the house? Or why did I feel compelled to go buy that fast food or whatever? I took time. And time is not something that we talk about in our society. And so that we can learn things. And my goal every single day is I'm going to teach you how to fish. I don't want you to just think that the answer that they gave you in the pretty package, they literally pay influencers on TikTok. You understand this, right? Do you understand the propaganda machine? Do you? Has it dawned on you that they are paying people to promote their script injections? Think about that. They are very powerful. I have to speak in code. They're very powerful. There's a lot of money to be had, right? And what if instead you did something super simple for yourself? I don't charge for content. I'm just showing you where to go. I'm showing you where to go, where I went. That's all I'm doing. I'm just directing traffic. I'm directing traffic, hopefully away from and towards a different rate. So on any given day, I might come on and I might talk about the trio, which is usually every day. I might talk to you about the purple packet because this helped me with my hormones and not having hot flashes, and it helped me with my that anger that sits underneath the surface when you're going through perimenopause and your hormones are upside down. I might talk about ashwagandha. Literally was on the phone yesterday with a customer that said, "I have my joy back." What do you think that does for me? She goes, "I literally told my friend," she goes, "Yeah, I picked up some ashwagandha at such and such store." And I told her, I said, "Well, do you want it to actually work for you? Because I can tell you where to get some that actually will work for you." She said, "After 5 years, I have my joy back because God gave us answers. And adaptogenic herbs is one of those answers." I might talk to you about a gut primer. I'm just telling you, or a probiotic. I just took my probiotic because I took the path of supplements. My dad took the path of meds. I'm 59. I'm not on any meds. I've lost 3 sizes in my 50s. I have a really good life with my grandbabies. I anybody can copy what I do. Anybody. In supplementation and in business. Just as a side note. Okay, thank you, Matt. I will look at that. Carla says, "Hey, hi, howdy. How is everyone? Fasting blood sugar this morning is 110, the lowest they have been in years. The lowest they have been in years. On my way to healing insulin resistance. Can't wait to see what my 3-month A1C will be." She just started the trio in August. Trulicity did not work for me. Trio. So she's been taking the trio, the gut primer, and me. And nutrition is working. So thank you, Carla. You're my best advocate, man. She's like amazing. She's freaking amazing. So she's taking the trio. She's taking the gut primer. She's changing out her food ingredients. She's learning how to fish. And then she's basically saying that having me that comes with the purchase of the supplements, just because I'm the one who studies and can give you the content, it's helping her. Like it helps her. She texts me frequently. So I know this. She texts me and tells me, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Because, we might not get mindset help outside of, inside of the provider's office, right? We might not get mindset help, for somebody to come on and say, "Listen, I struggled with this too. I wondered how on God's green earth will I ever trade out an ingredient? I'm Italian. Like, give me a break." That wasn't going to be my journey. Like, I literally started these because I said in my head, "Well, I'm not going to be changing out my food, so I might as well try some supplements, see what happens." That was me. So anyway, so I just talk every day. Talk, and see who wants to like take back their bodies and become their own advocates. And when you guys do, and then you text me stuff, man, I'm telling you what, it fires me up. Fires me up. Yes, Mary, I'll send you stuff. And you're so glad you found me. I'm exactly what you need. You definitely need some help and guidance at this point, Michelle. Absolutely. And you can always message me too and ask me questions. Okay. So, all right, I have a meeting in 4 minutes. So I'm going to jump. But if you need something, please leave a message on Facebook and I'll get back to you. If you need a cart with certain products in it that we've talked about, I'll create that for you. If you're on Instagram, you can go directly into my inbox. And on TikTok, you either have to, I can't send anything clickable on TikTok. So on TikTok, you need to follow me so I don't get lost into the algorithm universe. But then you can also go to my profile right up here. And there's a number there and you can text me there. Or you can jump over to IG. There's also an icon on my profile. It's my IG icon. Like you can press on that, the portal, and it will go, and you'll just pop right over to Instagram. Everybody that has questions about the trio, and you're thinking, okay, so what does it look like for me to not self-sabotage today? I've heard her talk about the trio. I've heard about some of the testimonies. I've wondered myself if I should start the trio. The one move you could make today is you could go over to my Instagram and look at the pink highlight bubble. And you could just allow yourself to look at other people's testimonies. That is one non-self-sabotaging move that you can take today if you have been watching me and my information and you have wondered if for yourself. And I'm just going to tell you, I won't make any guarantees. I will never make any claims, but I will tell you that, listen, if it's not for you, there's a 6-month guarantee and you don't have to worry that you've made a poor investment or that you don't have access to the person who is telling you about it. Because I'm right here, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. And in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, I'm in the group and I'm answering questions. Okay. And then we do a challenge every month, and September is our 16th challenge. So there's a track record, just letting you know I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So, all right, I'm going to jump off, get on my appointment, and then I will get to all of your comments during my lunchtime. And I just hope you guys have like the most amazing, blessed day ever on the face of the planet. How does that sound? All right. See you guys later. Thanks for joining, Carla. You're amazing. I appreciate you more than you even know.